Today's rabbit hole, feeding the algorithm. I want you to think about the last time you changed something about the way you make content because of the algorithm. Maybe you made the thumbnail brighter. Maybe you front-loaded your hook tighter because you read that you may have 8 seconds before someone clicks away. Maybe you started putting a fake dramatic pause before the title card because you saw someone say it boosted retention. Maybe you moved your upload day. Maybe you cut a section you actually liked because it felt slow. Now here's the question nobody asks after that list. Who made that decision? You or the machine? There's this phrase that gets thrown around constantly in the creator space. Feed the algorithm. You hear it everywhere. Blog posts, YouTube coaches, Reddit threads, even YouTube itself has used it. Feed the algorithm. Consistency feeds the algorithm. Engagement feeds the algorithm. Thumbnails, titles, watch time, upload cadence, all of it framed as food you're delivering to some hungry system that will reward you if you bring enough offerings. And the metaphor isn't exactly wrong. There is a machine. It does have inputs. It does respond to signals. But here's what nobody talks about when they use that metaphor. When you feed an animal long enough, you're not just feeding it, you're training it. And it's training you back. That's the thing about feedback loops. They don't care who started them. I've been thinking about this for a while, and the more I pull on it, the more unsettling it gets. Because the algorithm doesn't just respond to what you make, it shapes what you make. Every time you check analytics, every time you A/B test a thumbnail, every time you feel that low-grade dread before posting because you're not sure if this is going to be the one to perform, that's the machine running its training loop on you. Behavioral psychologists have a name for this. It's called operant conditioning. You do a thing, you get a reward or punishment, and over time your behavior shifts toward the rewarded patterns. Skinner did it with pigeons. YouTube does it with creators. The pigeons, for what it's worth, had no idea it was happening either. Now, I'm not saying this to be dramatic. I'm saying it because I think that most creators don't realize to the extent to which the platform is a behavior modification system with a content studio attached to it. You think you're making videos and using the algorithm as a distribution tool. But if you're optimizing every single decision around signals, you're not using the algorithm is using you. So let's actually talk about what the machine wants, because most of what circulates as algorithm advice is mythology. Cargo cult behavior built on top of a system that almost nobody actually read the documentation on. Upload on Tuesdays, 8 minutes minimum for monetization. Never use certain words in your title. Say the keyword out loud in the first 30 seconds. Most of this is either outdated, misunderstood, or just flat wrong. Here's what YouTube actually said about how the system works, from their own engineers in their own words. The algorithm doesn't primarily optimize for views. It optimizes for satisfaction. The system is trying to understand not just what people click on, but how they feel after they watched it. The second thing is the seed audience model. When you upload a video, YouTube doesn't immediately show it to millions of people. It shows it to a small test group, a seed audience, and watches how they respond. Click-through rate, watch time percentage, early engagement signals. If that small group responds well, the system widens the distribution. If they don't, the flame dies before it ever really started. This is why the first few hours after upload matter so much, and also why chasing a broad audience with generic content is often a losing strategy. Your seed audience is built from your existing viewers and people with similar watch histories, so a video that confuses or disappoints your actual people never gets a chance to find new ones. The third thing, and this one really rewired how I think about this, is that upload frequency matters far less than audience consistency. There's actual data on this. A channel that uploads once a week and gets 50% of its subscribers to watch it is algorithmically healthier than a channel that uploads 4 times a week and gets 20% of subscribers per video, even if the high-frequency channel is generating more total views. The system is measuring whether your audience actually shows up for you, not just whether you're showing up, period. So what does this mean practically? It means the entire post-more to feed the algorithm imperative that burns creators out is, at a technical level, mostly wrong. What the machine actually wants is a consistent audience that finds consistent value in what you make. That's it. That's the whole game. And here's where it gets interesting for me personally, because once you understand what the machine actually wants, not what the mythology says it wants, but what it actually measures and rewards, you can stop feeding it scraps and start feeding it deliberately. I've been building out what I call my content pipeline, not because I want to be a content machine, but because I want to protect the part of this that I actually care about, the making, the thinking, the engineering, the weird stuff, from the part that is just logistics. Batching scripts, a TTS proofing tool so I can hear the draft before I commit recording it, a structured audio processing chain so post-production doesn't eat my entire week. The goal isn't to produce more. The goal is to make an overhead low enough that the algorithm gets fed on a schedule I choose, not one it trained me into. The algorithm is not going to remember you. It doesn't have loyalty. It doesn't care that you've been making videos for years or that you stayed up until 2 in the morning getting a cut exactly right. It responds to signals. That's all it does. And that is actually fine once you stop expecting it to be something it isn't. A distribution system that responds to signals is a tool. A tool you understand is a tool you can use. A tool you don't understand is a tool that uses you. Lots of creators have hit the wall. Those that uploaded for years and woke up one day not knowing why they were doing it anymore. And almost universally, the pattern is the same. They started making what the algorithm rewarded instead of what they wanted to make. And somewhere along the way, they forgot there was a difference. The machine didn't take anything from them. They handed it over a little bit at a time. Each upload cycle, each analytics check, each pivot to wherever was trending that week. I don't want that to be me. And I'm not saying that from a position of having it all figured out. I'm saying it as a decision, a line I'm drawing on purpose, out loud, so I actually have to hold it. I make what I want to make. I package it well enough that the machine can find the people it's for. I upload on a schedule that doesn't hollow me out. And if the algorithm doesn't like a particular video, if the seed audience doesn't bite, if the numbers are bad, if the recommendation engine decides that this isn't the one for the masses, that's okay. I made the thing I wanted to make. And that's not nothing. That's actually the whole point. The algorithm gets fed. It just doesn't get to decide what's on the menu. There's a version of this creative life where you spend all of your optimizing for the machine that will never appreciate you. Chasing signals, modifying your behavior every quarter when the platform updates its recommendation logic. Feeding the beast until the beast is all you think about. And there's another version where you understand how the machine works well enough to work beside it instead of underneath it, where the algorithm is a logistics problem you've solved, not a god you're praying to. I know which version I'm building toward. The machine isn't real. The signals are real. Feed it if you want to grow. But know what you're feeding it, and know why, and know at what point to stop. Otherwise, you're not a creator using a platform. You're a content delivery mechanism that thinks it has options. Don't be the pigeon.